Magic chair. One of my duties as a principal is to ensure the safety of the students. During the drop-off to school and dismissal times, I assist with bus and car rider duty. One morning, I observed Robert from third grade just staring with his mouth wide open in amazement. "Robert, go to class," I called out. Robert turned around and started for class with his mouth still open. Robert was now sure that he had developed superpowers. How did he know? Well, when Robert's mom dropped him off that morning, he looked at the door of his family's brand new van, and it closed without him laying a finger on it. On the way to class, Robert thought, I wonder what other powers I might have. Robert loved to read superhero books, so he knew of quite a few powers. If I have stretching powers, Robert thought, I'll never have to get up to sharpen my pencil again. Robert figured, however, that it would be best just to practice moving things with his eyes so that he could strengthen his powers just like the superheroes he read about in comic strips and different books. When Robert got to class, he tried to start with moving his chair off his desk. He stood behind his desk, concentrating very hard. Seeing that it was not working, Robert decided to close his eyes and concentrate a little harder. "Nope, it didn't work," said Robert, who was now disappointed. During lunch, Robert worked up the courage to try again. Robert imagined moving his tray to the trash can from his seat. All of the other students lined up while Robert sat still in his seat with his eyes closed and brows squinted tightly. Robert's classmates all thought Robert had fallen asleep. Just before his very concerned classmate Karen could try to wake him, Robert gave up thinking that he was obviously nervous because there were so many students in the cafeteria. The last task of the day was a writing assignment. Robert hated writing and figured if he could get his pencil to write for him, he would have more time to think during his test. Robert closed his eyes one last time, concentrating harder than he had all day. However, this time he waited too long to open his eyes. His teacher, Miss Promptly, told the students they only had 5 minutes left. Robert was only able to write one paragraph before his time was completely up. Robert was sad by the time he reached the car rider line. I noticed his frown, and I asked if he was having a bad day. He just shrugged, and before I could ask more, his mom pulled up in their brand new van. This time, I was able to tell her that it was a very nice new vehicle. Robert's mom thanked me and showed me her favorite feature as she pressed the button to let Robert and his sister in the car. Robert once again just stood with his mouth wide open. This time he knew it was his mom who had the superpowers. Prediction lesson. In life, when we predict, we are taking what we know from our life and what we learn from an experience or a book and making a guess about what will happen next. There are several examples of prediction in this chapter. One example is when Robert sees his car door close when he did not touch the door. Based on what he knew from television and books about superpowers, he believed he also had superpowers. See if you can find some other examples of prediction.